Why, hello there. Now, today we'll be covering the new Tier 8 premium French battleship, the Picardie, better known as the French double-barreled shotgun or quadruple-barreled shotgun. So, yeah. Anyway, the Picardie will be available for direct purchase in the premium shop for 12,500 doubloons. You can also get it as part of the Admiral pack, or you can gamble for it for the 1,500 doubloon random bundles if you're lucky. This also drops perma camos for the breast and Cherbourg, which are pretty nice camos. Now, if you want her, I would just say buy her outright. Buy the ship directly. You can also refer to get in the army for doubloons, where you can use your doubloon coupon, ship coupon, which is really nice as well. You are definitely more than likely to spend more trying to gamble for her, so I would say just get the ship directly if you're trying to get her. So, moving on from that, I'll be giving my recommended build, her general stats, and how good the Picardie is in my opinion. So, yeah. Here's my captain build, be shown on the top right. This is a typical tank BB build, now with the new fancy skills. Now on this particular build, I do brisk with the new ASW anti-air skill, which is a 2-point on the very right, which is the 4-1, where if you have your anti-air active, which includes literally anything, fighters, spotter planes, ASW planes, etc., it reduces your consumable cooldown, which includes DCP and heals by 40%. You heard me right, 40%. Now, with this 40% reduction, it's pretty much a game changer for a lot of battleship players. A lot of times in tier 8s, we all know it, you get double CVs, like in this particular match. In tier 8, it's pretty much pre-prevalent to get double tier 8 CVs. And if you have this skill, you get your heals quicker, your DCP quicker, and your other skills quicker as well. So it's almost a must-have at this point for tier 8 battleships, because almost every match you're going to deal with the effing CV. So yeah, it's almost a must-have at this point. I highly recommend that skill. It's only a 2-point, so you can do a slight modification with your already current builds, and a lot of people have already done this since they did free respecs earlier in November. So I've definitely seen a lot more people having this as well. Super nice as well. I love it. I'm very happy with this build. With this build, as long with the new skill. I'm very, very happy that they did this. It's also brought back a lot of more of the battleship players. I did notice a population increase after this patch. Everyone trying out the new skills. So it's pretty nice. I've also seen a lot more viewership on Twitch as well ever since then. So I've definitely been seeing a lot more people coming in with those new skills. So very hyped for that as well. Now, I know a lot of people already know this, and if you don't, I'm gonna explain it to you. This ship does get 11.5 kilometer secondaries. It can if you build into it. And she does have an 11.3 kilometer concealment. 11.3 kilometer concealment with an 11.5 kilometer secondaries, which means that she can stealth fire her secondaries and then get spotted, because of course they change the mechanics of the secondaries. If you're outside of smoke and your secondaries start firing, your concealment will go off, as in you can't stay dark and fire your secondaries when you're in the open. Now, if you're in smoke, secondaries don't count towards your concealment at all, so if you're not firing your guns, they'll still be the assured 2 kilometer concealment if you're in smoke. Now, the reason why I say you don't want to do the secondaries, you can if you want, because the secondaries will be amazingly hilarious to do if you get into tier 6 matches. In tier 6 matches, you will absolutely be a monster. You're gonna run everything over, have a blast of a time. It's gonna be like the fat kid running over all the little kids for candy. All right, that's pretty much what's gonna happen. You can do that. But the problem is if you do that, the main issue is what's going to happen is if you go into tier 8 or tier 10 matches, you're going to get absolutely obliterated. This ship only has 53,000 HP. It is tanky for French standards, but at the same time, it isn't going to be able to handle long engagements of those tiers trying to get close to secondaries. It has to be forced to long range. Now, I'm going to go in more details about the guns, but I was just saying that piece about that so you guys can hear about that. Now, I have tried everything with the secondaries. IFHE, regular secondaries, the build with the accuracy as well. I've done pretty much everything. The build, the standard build, like the one I shown, is a lot more consistent in performance rather than the secondaries. Where the secondaries are more of a feast or famine, if you were, feast or famine, where you may get really good matches, or most of the time you'll get really bad, depending upon matchmaking. So I would say it's definitely best to just stick with improving your survivability and making your guns more accurate, because you're definitely gonna need it. Now, Picardie is a proposed variant of the Leon class battleships, sporting an alternative armament of 305mm guns, the same as the older BBs like the Turin and the Corvette. Wargaming also included a hypothetical refit to bring her up to tier 8 BB standards. Now, Picardie's similarities to Leon are actually pretty striking, evidenced in her hull design, the armor plating, which will be shown on the top right. She uses the same exact hull with slightly thicker hull armor extremities to keep her in line with the other tier 8 BBs. This includes a 32mm deck, the 32mm bow and stern. Most notably though, her 180mm upper side armor and icebreaker armor protects her at close ranges, which is super nice with that 11.3 kilometer concealment. Wow. Her citadel's also below waterline, but beware of her small HP pool of 53k HP, which is equivalent to a tier 6 battleship HP, by the way. Tier 6 battleship HP, which is on par with many tier 10 cruisers. So imagine you getting yourself put into a tier 10 match with this thing. It's not gonna go very well. So most of the time you want to be mid to long range with this thing, so you don't get your batuity chewed out real quick. All right, that's just wow saying. All right, now it does have armor. The ship does have armor, but with that low HP pool, you aren't tanky. So it's better to treat this ship as a battle cruiser and not a battleship. If you treat it as a battle cruiser, you'll be a lot better off than treat it as a battleship. Now, the same can be said for her main guns. She gets a ridiculous number of guns, 16 guns. But these guns, though, are the old 305mm guns from the tier 3 through 4 battleships. And the dispersion will be shown on the top of the screen. As you can tell from this dispersion, the shells go absolutely freaking everywhere, all right? They go everywhere. It's literally missing the broadside of a barn, all right? That's the best way I can put it. There's a barn and you hit the field around the barn, all right? Going from that, Picardie's firing angles aren't really the best. You do have to show your broadside to fire all the guns. That's why I didn't take acceleration and I took the rudder shift instead. So you quickly turn left, turn right, turn left, turn right, turn left, turn right. Throw your guns off, get them back, as you can probably see me doing throughout this whole match. Even if you fire all 16 guns, her 1.5 Sigma ensures many of these won't hit the target. It's not a good sign, since each shell deals a pathetic damage, and a 15% fire chance is worse than many heavy and light cruisers at this tier. Oh, it's crazy. Really, the only reason her guns work is because of the main battery reload boost, the MBRB. Fancy. You can fire a quick follow-up shot to punish broadside cruisers, or set fires to BBs without DCP. Super nice. As I said earlier, you do want to avoid the temptation to spec into secondaries. As I said, they can reach out to 11.5 kilometers, but their damage output isn't very good. As you all know, the French have normally fast reloading secondaries. These aren't fast reloading. The French don't have as heavy hitting secondaries normally. And they don't have a lot of pen either. So the damage output isn't worth the trade-off for trying to put all your points into secondaries and your modules to where the guns are even less accurate than they already are. So I don't think it's worth the investing into that. I'd say put every single captain point into survivability. This ship needs the survivability skills to be able to do well. If you don't, you're going to die very late in the match, and it's not going to go very well for you. Also, a side note, the Navarre is fairly slow at 27 knots. So even though you do, someone's like, hey, I want to do the secondary build. You can only go 27 knots. You only go 27 knots. So you're not going to be able to outrun a lot of the faster secondary ships that are at this tier. They can outrun you. Same with some of the other battleships that will outrun you as well. But again, her concealment is 11.3 kilometers for surface, which is amazing. An 11.3 kilometer surface detection is absolutely baller, and it's awesome. It's very important for getting close to offset her poor accuracy in AP pens. It's very important. Technically, she can stealth secondary ambush ships, but again, she doesn't have the fire pair to take full advantage of this. Hopefully, you don't get into a CV match. Not only can a CV spot you for free, but your poor HP pool and the average AA means CV focus equals GG. You do get 10 kilometer ASW planes, which is very nice though. Now a Picardie can be very, wait, it's either 10 or 8. No, it's 10. It's 10. Sorry, it's 10 kilometers. Sorry, I had to think about it for a second there. Now, the Picardie, from my overall review for this ship, I'd say it's a very frustrating ship to play. On one hand, she's absolutely smashes lower tier ships and light cruisers, and that MBRB really helps punish broadside ships who may not expect your follow-up shot. If you get into a tier 10 CV match, good luck with that. But for tier 8 and 6 CVs, the AntiAir can do a little more to them, and at least you still have that skill, the AntiAir ASW skill, to where you get your skills back 40% quicker. It definitely makes it where you'll be able to get your DCP quicker and your heal quicker, which will save you in the long run. Now, Picardie's playstyle is best described as a battle cruiser. Her AP can smash cruisers and even BBs at very close range. Against bigger ships, she can spam HE and roleplay as a cruiser. You want to avoid pushes until you can sink everyone, or can try to run down the low health HP stragglers that are left behind. Instead, you want to focus on ambushing broadside ships or keeping them on permafire with their HE shells. You can last for a long time, as even though you aren't tanky for a BB, you're still a battle cruiser. I would say it's really hard to rate the Picardie, as a lot of her games felt pretty much dictated by RNG. You got a 15% fire chance, you get up tier matches against tier CVs, it's pretty much cancer to deal with, and all you can do is HE spam and hope your team carries, and you have decent things at all to be able to help you in that match. On the other hand, she can dominate, literally steamroll tier 6 matches and quickly annihilate everyone with the MBRB. Now, I would say this for my final thing: if you like the Leon and wanted a tier 8 version of her, then the Picardie will be a perfect fit for you. If you like the Leon, you'll like this ship. You may also like the Picardie if you liked other MBRB ships like the Argonne, the Hyuga, any of those other ones as well. Now, however, if you prefer a standard BB gameplay, then this is definitely not the ship for you. That is the simplest way I can put it. But anyway, you can get this ship coming up for 12,500 doubloons, coming in the premium shop, or as part of an Admiral bundle, or in the random bundles for 1,500 doubloons if you're lucky enough to get it in those. But anyway, this is Overlord Bo. Thank you all for watching. If you guys have any questions or concerns, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later. Blah.